Welcome to The Work of Warriors, a podcast dedicated to bringing mental wellness to the entertainment industry. My name is Kim Rappage, former therapist and now a trauma-informed entertainment and music industry coach. Together, we're creating a healthier industry one brave conversation at a time. And I'm so glad you're here. Hey everybody, today's guest is Nashville's country music artist, Kirstie Kraus. Welcome, Kirstie.
Hello.
Hi, Kirstie.
I'm glad it worked out. I'm glad we finally got to do this. I literally don't normally jump on a wagon so quickly, but I saw your chat with Allie and I'm familiar with Allie. I've known her, in town and stuff. And we always have good chats. She's just a real, genuine human. And so I always am going up to her and we can have just a really real chat. And so I was seeing these clips and I was like, oh, I have to reach out. This is completely the era of life that I'm in and I've really focused on. And I think it's so important.
Yeah. Well, and you're being very intentional. I've read your notes and you're very intentional with mental health and taking care of yourself. And it's so important. One of my biggest reasons for creating this podcast is, as a former therapist, I've just witnessed so many people who are walking around with or without a diagnosis, but feeling broken and feeling unworthy or as if they'll never be enough or something's wrong with them, when there are so many things we can do to advocate for ourselves, to take care of ourselves, to take care of our nervous systems, and understanding the crossroads of nervous system regulation in an industry with highly dysregulated leadership often, and unrealistic expectations of the human mind and body. And giving people permission to be human, it's so, that's one of the biggest reasons. And I think people need to feel human and need permission to feel human without feeling broken.
Yeah, absolutely. I never thought burnout would happen to me. Even all of the little tricks that I would do and the best routing that I could ever, I went on my way to make sure routing was good, and never did I think that would happen to me. But I really did operate with a chip on my shoulder and realize that's not sustainable in life forever. And once you hit a certain age, your body's no, I don't like this anymore. This is really bad. This is actually borderline toxic to just be driving so crazily and not have any time for space, not have any time for, the other side of the equation and the quiet time and your quiet mornings. And so I've definitely learned to make that a priority so I can show up in such a better, happier, fuller way.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I would love to hear more of your experience with the music industry. If you just want to start by telling our listeners, who you are and what you do. I know you're a Nashville country music artist. Anything else you share to introduce yourself?
Yeah, well, I'm Kirstie Kraus. I'm here on the west side of Nashville. Nashville's been my home since the end of 2017, and I have just loved every second of it. So I think I'm going on 8 years, and then it's been 9.5 years, going on 10 years to doing music full time and calling this my job. Every day I get to just dive in and focus on the tasks at hand to make this dream keep going and keep being a reality and come true.
I love it. What have been some of your wins in the industry? And they're different for everyone. So it can mean anything. It doesn't have to be, an award or a platinum album. But for you, what would you say your wins have been?
I love a moment when something so small, people just want to help. And I think that's a win. When someone wants to purchase a guitar because they just feel called to do that. They would want to see me continue and play. And I had someone help start the Kickstarter for my first album with $5,000. Any sort of moments, there's been a lot of them. And I'm so grateful and thankful for that, because that means that they want to see me continue. Obviously, winning awards on the Opry stage for the Josie Music Awards, in the circle, the sacred circle. Those are big moments. My mom and my aunt and some OG fans came in from Wisconsin to be there up in the balcony, and I accepted the female award, the Country Artist of the Year for a female on the upper stage for the Josie Music Awards. And that's the largest independent music award. So that was definitely one of them. And sometimes I overlook things for sure, but at the end of the year, when I'm really looking at, okay, I wrote this amount of songs a year. This is how many festivals I did. Look at how many more songs I have to choose from. The set, like making a set list is becoming harder and harder. Like those are all things that I'm really proud of. Like,
Yeah.
I really love when I leave a writing room and I'm like, this is a great song, you know?
Yeah. So you're from Wisconsin.
Yeah, I was born in Florida, which is
Okay.
I was born in Florida, but for 2 weeks only. And then my family moved back to Wisconsin. So my parents were in Florida, just got jobs, living up there, a couple of years of just being married and not having kids yet. And they had me and then they moved back up to Wisconsin.
Gotcha. Where at in Wisconsin? I'm in Chicago. I'm in the
Okay.
suburbs of Chicago.
It's Greater Madison. It's actually Janesville,
Okay.
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
But now my sister she was in Sun Prairie, so she moved up to Green Bay. So Green Bay is now the new hub because I have a niece and a nephew and like family up there. And yeah.
Amazing. Do you get to ever play in Wisconsin?
Oh yeah. I think I took a little bit of a break from Wisconsin. I was hitting it so hard. And then I discovered the Gulf Coast and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And it kind of works how when you play shows, then you get offered shows. And hopefully each show you get offered a couple shows, spin-off shows from that.
Sure.
So I just, without thinking about it, like kept playing, down in the South. But now like with two little humans, I'm like, no, every like 2 months, I need to get up there. Like I need to make sure to plan around this. Cause it just like, I feel it. I feel it so much if it's been over like 6 weeks. I'm like, I need to be back there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. And thank you for speaking to that because I think people forget, not the artists, of course, but those of us who are not doing that level of work, we forget that there are humans and babies and, family members that are also missing out. And so making that a priority is so beautiful.
Yeah, you can only do so many FaceTimes and then you just want to squeeze them in person. And I even had my niece like run up to the phone and show me the potty because she had potty in her potty. And I was like, yeah, girl, I can't wait to see this in person. Like, I'm so excited for you. But it was so cool how she like wants to show me things. And I have a guitar that I promised her already in my house.
Oh, amazing. So inspiring. And I can tell just by the way that you talk about it, like you just have that balance and you've done a lot of work to get here.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's missing, sometimes you do. You just miss baby showers and you miss Easter if that's not in the plan or Mother's Days. And sometimes it does work out where, you make a plan, but I really do think in advance if as you're planning stuff, if you keep all of that in mind and make it like it's give and take for sure. Because you can't take off every weekend. But yeah, it's really nice to be able to be home. And I went home early March and my niece's birthday, while it was her birthday, I was on a cruise. So we just planned to do her birthday party early when I was home. And that was like
sweet.
Really fun that we got to do that because she's 3. So she doesn't know necessarily if it's her birthday that day or not,
Yeah.
So I'm really glad that my sister just like went in on making a whole party happen.
Sure. Yeah. I love that. I'll be watching your schedule. So when you're close, I'll try to catch a show.
Awesome. Yes, that'd be great.
What would you say, Kirstie, have been some of your lessons in the music industry?
Lessons. I have mentioned this to people that check your references. Oh my goodness. If you're not asking people who they're giving you as far as references or asking around, the references that they didn't give you, really trust. I mean, Nashville is a big city, but it's also a small town. So if someone had, a bad experience, granted, probably another person did, or vice versa, but really just check the story going around town as far as, because there's just a lot of people that are sharks and ask for money and maybe don't want to actually do the work. And so that's important. And I think it's also important to not make any quick decisions. I've done it. I've learned early on in my career that to just take time, talk to people, get to know them a little bit. There's no rush in signing something and working together. I mean, both parties really do got to make sure that it's going to be a good thing. And the more people that you can keep close to you that align with how you do business, the better. Like if you don't like how they communicate up front, probably not going to that. I mean, that will still be there in like a couple of months for now. So I've definitely learned those lessons and came up on them. And I've also learned some hard things are like trying to fit somebody into a box that they are not there for. So I really are on this earth for. So I really try to learn what people are good at and then like delegate appropriately. Like why am I asking someone to do something that they're not going to succeed at? They're just going to create a lot of friction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because delegation and asking for help is like, you need to do it. It's part of being a business owner.
Sure.
If you feel uncomfortable doing it, then like, how are you going to succeed? Nobody can do this kind of job alone, for sure. So taking help, but making sure that it's delegated properly.
With the right people that you can trust.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of people you're going to interact with, and not everyone has your best interest at heart.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm definitely gotten way more comfortable on taking time to make a decision and not feeling rushed at all by another person's timeline or expectations, just coming to a decision when I feel it's right.
Yeah.
I've definitely learned that.
What has been your experience with whatever you're comfortable sharing, of course, with your own mental health and maybe what you've learned that you'd be willing to share that might help somebody else?
Yeah, I was thinking about this. I figured we'd talk about this, and really the job has so many different hats. So I used to pivot so quickly throughout the day, and now I block things together. So I'm not fighting my body. Or like today, I'm, got in makeup. So I'm going to be doing other videos that I have blocked in my calendar, knowing I was going to be in makeup today. And I need to do these videos that I promised, that I would get to them. And it's been like a week, but I know that like, I'm going to be at home, have time for this, block it off my calendar. So I very much run my calendar like that now. And that's been a world of a difference rather than feeling like I'm in this direction, then over here and doing something. Like I have a plan in place and it's the most efficient process to get it done. I also get overwhelmed when things on the list, like when my list gets too long. And so I kind of have a motto where if I can do it in pretty much a little over the time it takes me to like write it down and think about it again, I'm just going to do it right then and there. So a lot of times it's sending the radio station like, this is Kirstie Kraus and you're listening to my brand new single. You got like, if I can do that really quick, send the email out and never think about it on a list and not even have to write it down, that's like super peace of mind. And a lot of times things like that to the other person is very timely. So I guess I've learned like what I can quickly do and what I definitely need blocks of time to do. And I've learned how my body and brain work. And so I take on harder things in the morning and, and like around 3 p.m., I'm typically doing guitar thing. Like that's like transitional period time, like lunch is before that and then transitional time and then go back to whatever the night activities, whether it's an interview or an event I have to go to, then I'm ready by that. But I do a lot of the computer stuff early because it won't happen at night. And so I just feel like knowing myself and catering to that has helped, where I'm not feeling like I'm failing because I had something scheduled at 9 p.m. and my body doesn't feel like doing that. And looking at a screen at 9 p.m. or thinking about work,
Yeah.
That's like set list time.
Right. And I think it's, something we don't really think about is whatever is embedded in our nervous system. And you talked about like making the list. Like if I can take the time to write it down and plan it out, I might as well just send it off in a voice memo, right? But I think sometimes we sit and we plan and plan and plan and we make lists and we map it out because that feels productive, but it also feels safe. And then we don't realize that we're not even regulated in that. It's like, okay, I'm being productive. I've got a plan. Yeah. But the plan doesn't happen. And then we enter into the shame spiral.
Right. And you can plan, but opportunities do come up, especially in this industry too. Like I did not know a couple weeks ago I was going to go to Hawaii in the beginning of October, right before this other festival. And I have this little window in between this festival. And I'm like, well, I could stop in California and do some wineries. And next thing you know, he's one of my fans is reaching out about who I should contact for these certain wineries and these house concerts in California for essentially like planning on how I would fly. And that wasn't on my radar. But how are you going to, turn down opportunities like that if it works out so beautifully? I feel like if you're on the right path, you're working with good people, it feels right, and it just kind of falls in place like that and it makes sense. And you're not having to fight it so hard to make it happen. That's when you know you're on the right path. So you do have to be open enough for those things.
So do you want to share, I have two questions. Do you want to share a little bit about your burnout, like your experience with burnout?
Yeah, honestly, like I said, I've never thought, like I had a little chip on my shoulder. I'm like, that's never going to happen to me. I would listen to artist songs and how they were questioning if they should be in music or not. And I'm like, that's never going to happen to me. And of course, because I thought that or said that out loud, that's probably why it happened. I literally, all of a sudden, it was just like, it felt like the energy fell off. I remember about to go on stage at a big festival with a band and they were starting the intro and I noticed like I was at like a 5. Normally I'd be at like anything more than a 5. Like I would, be excited. Be like, let's go. We're going to go sing my music and like look at all those people out there like ready to go and the band's looking good, everything's good, but I was just kind of like meh. And I was like, this is odd. And I remember noticing that moment. And that was kind of the defining moment where I started paying attention that like, there was no ups or downs. Like it was just kind of like a meh all the time. And it got harder to want to get work done and be excited about maybe going to California or, like you thought, oh, there's so much steps that have to happen before that part happens. I just got really overwhelmed easily and I didn't recognize myself. But I really do think that it was time. It was my body's way of saying, we need something else. Like we cannot withstand this. And so I really did. It's been like a year and a half. I really did turn inward and I became like, I took out writing appointments and listening to my body became priority number 1. Cause I was like, I don't know what this is. I got to figure it out. I don't know how long this is going to last. I got to figure this out. Cause I've always loved my job. And now I feel like I just don't have energy. I think through therapy, through going to Porter's Call, people that specifically offer therapy with backgrounds of the music industry, and they offer free therapy to musicians. So through both of those and then doing lens therapy, I can't tell you how many people I told about lens therapy, but it really did reset any sort of like just the daily anxiety. And I feel like I'm in a better position to look at a problem and just think about the solution from a very like, how do we fix this from a very loving place? What would be the best solution right now? If we don't have a solution, that's okay. We'll come back to it tomorrow. Like we'll subconsciously think about it. But yeah, I feel like I used to get worked up a lot easier. And now I just have things more regulated.
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing. So what I think of when you said, all the things that you're doing and paying attention to your body, it's so common, especially in this industry, to expect that the wins and the highs and the successes are going to be what makes you happy and makes you feel regulated. And so many people, and you've experienced this too, like, you're walking out into a crowd of people who paid money to come see you and you're like, meh, like that is not the answer. We want that. And that should be part of the experience and it is the dream, but it's not what is going to regulate your nervous system. And so wouldn't it just make sense to have both so that when those big wins come, or even if it's, a Tuesday in a songwriting session, like, don't you just want to enjoy that and be present and
be
love
in
what
your
you're
body?
doing? Yeah.
And when you are more in your body and present, you can, it's a different way of experiencing things. I think I was present, but I don't before, but I didn't know like the real way of being present. Like I
Yeah.
thought I was to the extent that I could be without worrying about the 500 things I have to do after this writing appointment.
Yeah.
And how am I going to fit all this in? And I got to change the clothes in the car and I got to this. And like, and it's like almost going through that information where now my brain doesn't have to continue to like run through that. We did it. We have everything set. We're good to go. I don't think about it. So it's a lot of like ruminating thoughts when your nervous system and anxiety is not regulated.
Yeah. And that, I have to, put on my press on nails or paint my toes in the car, change my clothes. There's a period of time. And for some people, it's a long time, but like that is a lot of dopamine. That's a lot of excitement because that means you're making it, right? Like I did it. I'm doing it until it taxes your nervous system. It's like, this isn't exciting anymore. This is actually causing harm.
And we're all human and no human is exempt from this. Like if it hasn't happened to you yet, it will. And I'm not trying to say it like a doomsday. It's just, it is reality. Like we are human and the duality of this world, it will happen. Yeah. Everything that goes up, comes down or left and right. There's always this duality. So being on top of that and being mindful of that before it even happens could save you a lot of, extra confusion and anxiety just listening to us talk about it.
Right, exactly. And I love Porter's Call. Yeah. I'm a huge fan of Porter's Call. I love them.
Me too.
So, I mean, that is an excellent resource. But what I was thinking is, has your perspective changed, paying attention to your body and then changing your routines and your schedule? Has your perspective changed around mental health? Again, kind of like where we started, where people think if they can't do all that, if they can't hang with like getting their clothes changed in the car and running from here to here and planning this, from this trip to that trip, like what's wrong with me? I can't handle this. I'm not cut out for this. That is so not true.
Yeah.
Was that a shift for you?
Absolutely. I think that when I was really busy, that's in my mind, I would be thinking like, this is great. Like, you like this. I was like it's almost like I was telling myself that, where now it's like, no, I really enjoy sitting in the sun on my yoga mat or going for a long walk and listening to a podcast or just reading a book, like sitting and reading the Dolly Parton and looking up one of her songs. Like I enjoy that. So I need to make sure I make time for that as well, where I think before, and I've never actually said this out loud or concluded this, but your question got me there. But I think I would tell myself like, no, this is what you like and only this. And so I think diving in, it has changed my perspective because we can like both things. We can like the quiet, peaceful space and we can like the stage and the show and love both. And that's totally fine. You don't just have to be in this lane.
Okay, so I had a question. I asked you about your perspective. And then I lost it.
Also, I think while you're thinking about it, I'll just share in this time and in this space, like in taking away writing appointments and, because I used to write 2 to 3 times a week and then really just like slowing that down and really focusing on my mental health and then also rehearsing, like just practicing all these songs and getting them into spaces. Definitely have this theory that we kind of just spin all these different plates, or I always use the pie theory. Like we have a pie and there's so many pieces to the pie and we can't focus on all the pieces at once, but our job is all the pieces. So it's like, what's going to be the couple, like, the 2 pieces that we pick that we really focus on, or like the 3 more forefronting things. And it's okay to put something to the wayside and bring that back and have a season of it. And because I stopped doing writing appointments that much, I really have been getting to a place where I'm just like writing things down and I'm excited and I hear ideas all the time and it's like fully back. And I'm glad I waited for it rather than, again, fighting my body and going through the motions and not being fully there, maybe in a writing appointment.
Yeah. You reminded me of my question.
Okay, good.
When you started dialing in and being really attuned to your body and not only attuned, but committed to your nervous system, did you notice that opportunities started to come like more freely and more like things, like you said, things just start to align.
Yeah.
I see this all the time. It's like when you commit, the world starts opening up.
Yeah, you definitely there's a whole there's a whole thing that happens. You people leave your life because you are in a different space than they are, and that will naturally happen. Also, like I've definitely always experienced if I'm on the right path, and this is just something I've always believed. Like God put this in my heart and I'm here on the planet to do this. So if I follow all the opportunities that come in my path that feel good and they make sense, then I know I'm on the right path. So I've always done that. But yeah, I have noticed that the people that I'm bringing in now are more in a similar energy space and are more regulated and are more happier. And I'm able to have very deep, meaningful conversations with them. And so that is something I've definitely noticed has
Yeah.
changed.
Yeah. You're allowed to be human, right? Like you're
Yeah.
having these authentic, deep conversations, doing life human to human, as opposed to saying yes to every single opportunity and never saying no and feeling
Right.
shame if you are tired or don't want to do something, right?
Yeah. Thankfully, that was a huge lesson I learned in college was the word no and just different ways to say no. And learning it then, I'm so thankful for it because that it really does help so much to not just because somebody brings something to the table and tells you a problem that they're trying to solve or what they need, done. If you don't have the capacity to help them, that's totally okay. And I had to like really hear that and really learn those ways of saying, not just no, but like, I would love to help you, but I just do not have the capacity to take that on right now. And no, and like that is true. Like that is your truth, and that's totally fine. And so speaking your truth in that way and not being afraid to say no is totally fine. And in this position, people do ask a lot of things. Like there's so many social media platforms. There's Facebook Messenger, there's your text message, there's your work number, like there's the email, there's a lot of asks of stuff. So, and I've been trying to reach Dolly and you can only imagine how many different asks she gets. She sits
Sure.
on Tuesdays and goes through her list of people have reached out to her. And so it is definitely something a tool that you need to have in your tool belt, just to say no and not feel bad about it because that's your truth. Or like, I don't have the skill set or I don't have the capacity for that right now, or whatever the statement is. I just took on another project. Had I known this, maybe I would have taken that on, but I have to honor my commitment. However you say it, it's just putting your truth in that and standing in that really does give you so much harmony and so much peace. And I've definitely am in the business of what is it? Why I get protecting my peace. I was trying to say projecting. I was like, no, protecting my peace. That is like my MO.
Yeah. Yeah. And artists, I think, get tripped up in the one piece of if I don't do it, somebody else will. And if I don't do it, I'll get passed over, I'll get forgotten, I'll get canceled, whatever. And the other piece of it's hard to protect your peace, one, when you don't have it, right? You don't even know how to find it.
Right.
Or to make those aligned decisions when you're not regulated, right? If
Yeah.
you're constantly running in fight or flight, you can't make aligned decisions and know like, oh, this is what
Yes.
feels right in my nervous system.
So
You
true.
have to learn those tools so that you can sit with yourself and go, okay, does this make me light up like a Christmas tree or does this make my stomach hurt?
Yes.
And then trusting that.
Right. And you're so right. I feel like if people aren't regulated in their nervous system, they have no way of easily taking temperature if it's a yes or a no for them.
Exactly.
They're like, I don't know. I think that's a sign as well to kind of listen to your gut more, like listen to your because our bodies know everything. We just have to give them space in order to give us the answers.
Amen.
I mean, my body will tell me exactly what it wants to eat, when it wants to eat. Like if it's not feeling well, it's thirsty. Like it tells me all of that. I don't have to go to, I don't have to go online to look on what I should do. My body will just tell me if you really listen to it.
Yeah. And the more you learn that, the clearer everything becomes about decisions, about,
Absolutely.
friendships and people you can trust or not trust. Like it just start like the amount of clarity that I have in my life, it's almost concerning sometimes. I'm like, that's a big no. Okay. That they're not going to understand that, right? Like,
Yeah.
and that's okay.
And I find that stuff. I remember early when I was moving to Nashville and asking, like, there's YouTube videos about asking yourself questions, and if your body
Yeah.
like leans
Yeah.
up or forward, it's a
Yeah.
yes. And if it leans like, back, or you're feeling like any sort of constraint or like not an expansive feeling, it's a no. Like it
Yeah.
just is. And so if you are in a predicament where you just want to try that, try the asking your body, it's very interesting
Yeah.
how that works.
Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible. And it's I don't know, I think especially women, we've just been so conditioned to abandon our bodies. And so we just don't trust ourselves. And we trust whoever is, especially if you have big goals and big dreams, you just start to trust the wrong people.
Yeah.
Again, whether it's a friend or a manager, like start trusting yourself. And if you don't know how, it starts with the nervous system.
Absolutely. And if you're not sure or don't have the basis for that, like I definitely early on had to look at how they were treating other people and how they were interacting with, even when you're standing there, how are they interacting with other people?
Yep.
Because one day that will be you.
Right. Yep. Yeah. So many situations where you really just can't say that'll never happen to me.
Right.
Data is data, and history repeats itself.
Absolutely.
And it will come for you too. Yeah.
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 And people will stay in those loops for, a long time. So it's not like it's miraculously they're going to treat you differently than how they treated that person that you just witnessed. It's probably the case that they're going to stay in the loop. I mean, getting out of those type of loops takes work. It takes a lot of work, and it takes quiet time, and things that sometimes people aren't ready for until they're ready. So just know that. I mean, it's not, I don't want to speak from any place. I'm just speaking from a place of like, I've worked through it. And so I remember, seeing those things, but not knowing from this perspective that was like the huge telling moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that this was a hell yes for you.
Yes, it was. Literally, I was like, I am all about this. I hope she responds to my message.
Well, thank you so much. You talked about Porter's Call and lens therapy and, your daily routines. I would say, what would you say are 3 non-negotiables on a daily basis that you have for yourself to keep your nervous system regulated, to keep your mental health in check, and to be able to be present and enjoy this career?
Yeah, I love like listening to the Bible app or some sort of meditation. I use Hertz music. Yeah. Love these at night, the blue light glasses. But ultimately, just trying to turn my phone off for a little bit, like having time where I'm just making food and that's it. I'm not trying to multitask every day. So that's a non-negotiable. And then literally, like, I would not survive if I didn't drink at least 2.5 of these. Like, I drink so much water and with the electrolyte stuff, and I'm in a bad mood if I don't. Like, I just don't feel right. So those
I've
are
had
kind of
people accuse me of having alcohol because I always have my water bottle. And I'm like, I always have water. Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, that's funny. Well, they like, because it's, I guess, not clear, so they think something else is in there. But
I guess.
Yeah, I've had this specific one since Christmas, and I just every day, like, just fill it with my special water, and those are, I think those are like the main things, because it's so easy to be on your phone and the computer all day long, and I definitely have all my electronics switch over after a certain time to take out the blue light and do like the nighttime mode and red light and all the things that helps as well.
Yeah, you take so many intentional steps for your mental health. It's so inspiring. And again, I hope people hear that this isn't, there's something wrong with Kirstie, so she has to do all these things. It's like, Kirstie just loves herself and wants to sustain her career forever, and for at least
Yeah.
until she, till she doesn't want to anymore. But it's just not always a mental health issue, like
Yeah.
in a deficit, right?
Right.
It's a human issue. Like, we all have a nervous system. We all need water. We all need sleep. We all need to get off our phone. Collectively, can we humanize this process instead of always, what's wrong with Johnny? He, isn't answering his calls and he's not showing up the way he used to. It's like, maybe his nervous system is fried.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's okay. Like, I'll message people and be like, "Hey, I'll dealing with some car troubles right now. I will get back to your messages and read all these like when I can," because I get a lot of, social media messages.
Sure.
And I love my fans. Like, we have a close relationship where we can message back and forth, but sometimes I just can't get to it in a
Sure.
timely manner, and I just at some point let them know. I just say, like, in general, I'm one person. I also got to like fit work and all these other things
Yep.
in there. So I'll get back to you like in messages, feel free to send them to me and I'll get back when I can. And I just kind of set precedence like that as well.
Yeah. Well, and I love that, because for me, and I was just thinking this today, I'm just coming off of being sick and I'm still recovering from surgery. And there was a mix up with a phone call. And I stopped and I paused and I was like, nothing is urgent to me. Like,
recovery is most important. You know what I mean? Like, yes.
Yeah. But I don't have to answer anybody right now, or I used to. I used to be like, oh, I got to get back to them. Just same thing. Or they'll think
Right.
or I might lose my opportunity, or,
Right. Oh my gosh. That was something that was a huge shift. I remember that moment when it was like, I have to get back to that email, like this email. And, and people would be like, do it by the end of the day. Like, people love to say that, especially festivals with all their paperwork. But you know what? Like, there's no consequence that's going to happen if I do it tomorrow morning. You know what I mean? Or they just told me today, like they told me at 2 p.m. and they said, do it by the end of the day. Sorry, I had plans as a human. I can't accommodate that. And knowing that that's like reasonable to say, like,
even if your plans were a nap, right?
Yeah.
If it's
seriously,
just self-care, like it's my plan.
I think a level of respect and a window, like, all needs to go in the equation. And I'm so happy that you said it like that. Like, to some people be like, oh, there's something wrong with her. She's just loving herself. And I had another artist tell me one time, I've never met anyone that like practices as much self-love as you do. And I was like, that was a moment for me. That was like a big compliment. And I took that, as a compliment. Like, to them, it was more of just an observation as they were saying it. But I was like, no, that's wonderful. Like, I'm so happy you said that. I feel like that's really important.
I think it's the most important, because imagine if everyone took care of themselves with that much intention.
Yeah.
I mean, take the music industry in Nashville, just that alone. We'd have a whole different world. We'd have so much less addiction.
We really would.
So much less suicide. We'd have happier people. We'd have less assaults. It changes everything. I always say, when you regulate your nervous system, you change the world.
Absolutely. I mean, one person can change. Imagine, like you were saying, like a collective in that space. I mean, we could change a lot of things. And that's like a whole other conversation for another time. But I wanted to share, like, this is one of my, I don't know if you can see it, but it says, good morning. I love you. I love you. Do your emails.
I love that.
It's like, do your emails. I love you, but you should do your emails.
But it's almost 10 o'clock. Get it done.
Yeah, little things like that.
Yeah.
I just feel like it just gives me a little smile and reminds me that I'm here for myself. I can trust myself to be there and listen to my body and not be an enemy or put myself in bad situations. I can trust myself.
Yeah. And it's so obvious, like, that it is authentic. It's so obvious it's authentic. Like, I can feel your energy through the screen. But that is the energy you are bringing to a writing room, to your niece and nephew, when you're on an airplane, when you're at a festival, when you're writing. Like, that's the energy you're bringing. And that's the most, I got goosebumps. That's just the most powerful thing that you could possibly do. And so good job. Good job just showing up for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we've got to talk about this. I've never actually gotten ever in depth in this type of spaces and things I do just on a daily basis. So this has been really cool to be able to talk about this back and forth.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, this is what I talk about all day, every day. It's all I ever want to talk about.
That's awesome.
So I appreciate you being here. If there is someone who's struggling and you had to give a response, if someone's struggling with their mental health or with burnout or questioning, should I, like you said in the song, should I even be in this industry? What would you say to them?
I think taking the bigger picture, because maybe it's just right now or this season where you're feeling these down feelings, but in the bigger picture, there's been more days where you're like, yes, this is what I meant to do. For sure, like zoom yourself out and take in the bigger picture. And you're human, and just know that people have down days, or they have days where they just want to watch chick flicks or whatever movies you're into and eat popcorn and call that the day. Like go for a walk, watch a movie, and that's totally fine to do. I myself used to feel so guilty taking days, but people in all different industries take days off too. So it's okay for you to have a bad day or a bad week or just be sad about something, but really zoom out and look at the bigger picture and maybe even write some things down that you remember that really was a moment that touched you. Or just as things happen, I definitely have a list of good things people have said to me. And so I can go back to that moment and that list and look at it and kind of reread, oh, look at what they said. Yeah. That's so encouraging. That's why I do this.
Yeah, that's a really good point, to keep the notes and the evidence and the data of your whys and your support system and the gratitude and notes from fans and DMs and that sort of thing, because our nervous systems are built for survival. And so it's always looking for what's wrong and how to protect you. And if you don't know that and you're not focusing on gratitude, it just all feels so all-consuming and it can get really dark. So that's a really great practice.
Yeah, celebrating all the little wins.
Yeah.
All the little wins. Like I got to go in this room with a writer today that I remember wishing that I would get in the room, and we had a great day and we got a song, and I did that. Like that was something I wanted to do, and it happened.
Yep. Well, and soon you'll be like, I am so excited that I finally got to talk to Dolly.
Yay. Yes.
It's coming.
I keep just putting it out there and manifesting. I'm like, I know one day I'm going to be on the Opry stage and I'm going to be singing Dabba Dolly with her, like for her birthday. And there's going to be a bunch of other female artists on stage. And it's just going to be to celebrate her birthday. I was like, that will happen. I know that to be true in the future. It's just a matter of when. But I just keep putting it out there and picturing it. And that's going to help it.
I love it. Yeah, keep going. Yeah, I love it so much. Thank you so much for being here. Is there anything else you want to share with our listeners before we go?
Yeah, I just want to say, if anyone's tuning in and I don't know you, I still love you. I think that we are all here to just love, and we're all brothers and sisters. And so it's just really cool that we get to be on this planet and just experience life and everything that all entails. And it doesn't always look perfect, and that's okay.
Thank you so much. You're such a delight. I'm so grateful to have met you. Thank you.
I was like, how am I going to say this without crying? I was like, I'm going to say it and I'm not going to get teary-eyed.
Hey, we welcome tears. We welcome tears around here. It's beautiful. You can always cry in my presence.
This has been awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really glad this worked out.
Me too. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
All right. I'll talk to you soon. When artists are well, everybody wins. If today's conversation resonated with you, head over to kimrappage.com, where you'll find tools and resources to support your mental wellness journey. For questions about private coaching, speaking engagements, or being a guest on the podcast, email me directly at kim@kimrappage.com. Together, we can create better conversations, a healthier industry, and a happier you.